though. It's Max and we're back, and we're doing a bit of a test run here. Just got everything mostly set up, and of course I'm all bundled up because my old computer ran a little bit more hotter than this one. It's actually quite a bit colder in my little setup room here without having the computer howling away. Doing this sort of thing. So we're going to do our second attempt because we didn't want to record in a format that Sony Vegas can recognize. Sony Vegas been around for 20 years, and they don't know what an FLV format is. Okay, so we had to fix that and redo everything. Great. So what are we talking about today? Well, I'm going to be rambling on, but I'm going to talk about a good movie here called Courageous. Came out in 2011. About a bunch of Christian cops. Really is kind of the basis of the story. There are a lot of things that I like about this movie. IMDb here gives her a 7 out of 10. Now, IMDb is not a Christian organization. I think people in general, in the general public, like this movie. And there was a lot of Christianity, actually, in this movie. Primarily, the focus was based on morality and how you should treat people. The primary focus. I will briefly read the synopsis. When tragedy strikes close to home, 4 police officers struggle with their faith and their roles as husbands and fathers. Together, they make a decision that will change all of their lives. It doesn't go into the old trope, this movie. Standard with Christian movies is something bad happens to a Christian and then they fall away and then make their way back to Christ. Doesn't happen in this movie. There are about 5 or 6 different storylines that actually happen throughout this movie. A lot of different characters. Everyone acted incredibly well for this. It is a Christian movie. Okay, and it's a low budget, fairly low budget Christian movie. Doesn't look like it. And it's done by Alex Kendrick. Alex Kendrick, you may have seen my review on Fireproof. Good movie. And I did not want to like that one because we have not Family Ties guy, but the other guy. I don't like that guy, but I have to give him credit that he did act very good in Fireproof. I'll remember this eventually. Like I said, this is my third time doing this stuff, so trying to get things working here so I can crank out videos and not have any problems. Alex Kendrick is actually the writer, director, producer, and main actor of this movie. And the guy is great. He's doing the Clint Eastwood thing. And the budget for this movie was $2 million. And it made $35 million. Everybody liked this movie. I mean, I'm sure it only made $35 million because it was a limited release. Not a lot of theaters wanted to actually have this movie in their theater. Came out in 2011, and it's not currently on PureFlix, but I don't imagine that it's not going to be on there at some point. It's a good movie. And the general public gives this a 7.0 out of 10. That was the first thing that I thought after turning the movie off. I'm like, that's a 7. Just as a movie. As a Christian movie, I give it an 8. And for myself personally, because they didn't follow the standard Hollywood, or not Hollywood, but the standard PureFlix and these other movies, they didn't follow the standard trope of lost person gets saved, person falls away from faith, blah, 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 blah. That's like all the movies that I've watched have been like that. This one does not do that, so I will give it an 8.5 getting a hard 8 and an 8.5 as a Christian movie. I think everyone should watch it. Unfortunately, it's you basically have to buy the DVD, get it off Amazon or something, because it's not on Netflix, it's not on PureFlix. Like I said, acting is great. Was entertaining all the way through. Didn't fall asleep. The only problems that I will bring up with the movie is that apparently everybody in this town is a Christian. And that's kind of irritating because, like, I kind of think, like, I could see these police officers and the family and stuff like that being the way they are if they were placed in, like, the 1940s, where everyone was pretty hardcore Christian. When you bring it up into modern times, it is a little bit disbelievable to be that people and friends are all going to hold hands and be all doing the right thing Christianity-wise. But I liked it. What do you say? There are setups and there are payoffs. Setups, payoffs, setup, payoff. There wasn't any loose ends in the movie. And it's predictable, but I got my setup and I got my payoff. I got my setup, I got my payoff. What more can you ask for? What more can you ask for? So that's what we have. I'm still setting up OBS Studio to try and get things right here. My lighting is going to be off because all my light bulbs burnt out. Whatever. Going to be putting this up on my main channel as a test and up to Patreon. And I have more stuff that's going to be going up there very soon when I get things a little bit more figured out. Right now, we just have to do this little test. See how the test goes. With that, I think we're going to be out of here.